Hey everyone, this is Rachel Alexander with Keller Williams Realty coming to you with another episode of Real Talk with Rachel. And what I wanted to discuss today is I'm actually going to address it from both buyer and seller perspectives. And that question is, when should I reach out to a realtor? So I know I want to move. I know that's something that I want to do at some point. But when do I reach out to a realtor to be able to make that happen? Okay? And to that I say you want to reach out to a realtor really as soon as possible, okay? Ideally, I always like to begin working with people about a year to a year and a half out from when they're looking to make a move. Typically, the earlier the better, just so that we can plan it and so that the process is actually going to be smooth. So let's talk about it first from the buyer's end. So when you're a buyer, because most buyers, especially first-time home buyers, don't have $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 just lying around in cash, most of them are going to have to get a loan to be able to purchase a property, okay? So when you get that loan, you're going to be working with a lender. The lender is going to need to pull your credit to know what type of loan programs you qualify for and if you qualify additionally, okay? So that being said, I find that most people, they do need a little bit of work on their credit. So it may not necessarily be a year or a year and a half, and I'll get why I recommend that time frame, a little bit later. It may not necessarily be a year, year and a half of work that you need to do or preparation that you need to do on your credit or something else with your financial profile, but there typically is something that does need to be done. So reaching out to the lender sooner than later is going to allow you to be able to put together a game plan with the lender that will allow you to qualify for a home and or obtain really great interest rates, okay? So most people have something that they've forgotten about, whether it be like an old store credit card that, maybe there's some late payments on that, or they've just forgotten about it so they're not paying on it, or maybe there's a hospital bill, or maybe there's, a different loan, something that's affecting your credit that you've either forgotten about, or even if you know about it, you may not necessarily know how to work with it, how to overcome that hurdle. And so working with a lender, they'll put together a specific game plan, and they'll literally tell you, hey, this balance is at $1,300. You need to get that down to $851. Your car is currently at a 8% interest rate. You need to go refinance that. You have good credit, good enough credit to get to this point. So maybe you need to refinance that to a 3 or 4%. Just something to where it's allowing you to be able to actually move forward in qualification / pre-approval for the home. Now you may say, Rachel, I monitor my credit. I'm keeping on top of it. I know I have a 750. I live with my parents and I have no debt. Why would I not qualify? Okay. So a lot of times the question isn't necessarily if you'll qualify, but what you'll qualify for people that are great at monitoring their things, okay, monitoring their financial profile. So, but if you're still looking to purchase a year and a half out, what you're going to want to do is be able to build a relationship with a realtor that's going to connect you to a lender to be able to put you in the best financial position to be able to purchase a home, to be able to get the best interest rate. So you may qualify for an interest rate right now that is a good interest rate, but if you're waiting a year anyway, why not use that time to reach out to a lender, improve your financial profile so that you can get a lower interest rate which benefits you even more long term, okay? So those are kind of 2 points when it comes to the buyer side of things. On the seller side of things, again, you'll want to reach out. The sweet spot for me is typically about a year and a half out to be able to discuss what you need to do to improve your property, what modifications you need to be able to make to the home to be able to get the most money for the property. Now, how I actually came into real estate is I was working with a local investor. We would put together spreadsheets on properties. Hey, if we put, this countertop in, we should be able to get this much money back, or I'm projecting that we should be able to sell a house for this price. And what I found during that process of trial and error is that there are some things that are upgrades, genuinely upgrades in a home that buyers don't care about. And by care, I mean they're not going to pay more for, okay? So that was a process of trial and error that I'm able to use as I go into helping a person sell the house. So just because it costs you money does not necessarily mean that the buyer is willing to pay money for it. So what we want to do is we want to maximize, the return that you're going to get from the investment that you put into your property without maximizing, the actual investment that you have to put into your home. Additionally, when I work with sellers, I like to be able to discuss with them not only what they need to do to improve their current home that they're looking to sell, but also what their plan is when they move. Are they going to purchase another home? Do they need to net a certain amount of money to be able to use that as a down payment or closing costs on their next home? Do they plan to live with family while they build a home? So I do have relationships with local builders that can help you to be able to build your next home. And then also meeting with me earlier allows us to be able to really plan out a strategy, whether you're buying or selling, for your next home. And just kind of as a side note, one of the things that I've noticed with being a realtor for the past 6 years is that the people that reach out to me say, boom, I need to sell quickly, or I need to purchase quickly. Those are the people that, the process, if they're qualified and if they're ready to go, is going to be a little bit rockier just because there isn't as much planning behind it, okay? So in my opinion, you always want to reach out sooner to be able to allow the process to really be as stress-free as possible and something that is planned out really well for you, okay? So that's Real Talk About Real Estate. If you have any questions about anything that I've discussed, feel free to give me a call, shoot me a text. My number here is 850-206-2199. And what I wanted to discuss in Real Talk About Life is really, some convenience things, okay? And this came about because I was scrolling on Facebook and I saw an ad for baby food delivery. Like they mix up all the stuff and everything for you and then drop it off at your doorstep. Very similar to like HelloFresh, Blue Apron, whatever meal prep service that you use, or meal delivery service rather, that you use. And so I was just thinking, this would have been really great to have, 6 years ago when my son was that small, anything to kind of speed up the process and still be able to get him nutritious options. And so what I want to hear is, what are some things that are available now for current parents that you wish that you would have had, when your child was that age, okay? So would love to hear from you all, whether it be about the convenience things, with children, or if it's going to be about real estate. Again, my number is 850-206-2199. Y'all have a great one. Bye.